Good morning, and we welcome you to the Wycherley International College Chess Virtual Workshop. And this is our second session for the day. So we had another one bit early. Some of your friends might have joined one because rather than we expected, there were more requests to join, and at the last moment we got plenty of names. So we couldn't accept all of them, but somehow we have managed to accept as many requests as possible. The other thing, there can be, like I said, there could be beginners and there could be students of intermediate level as well. So I'm going to, but anyway, discuss. I assume that you all know, and most of you know the basics. So that I'm going to do a little lesson, which is not a very basic one, but we will cover up some, if there are beginners, don't worry. Well, anyway, I will be covering up some ideas what are important for the opening and some useful technical ideas, and on and off we will try to continue this bilingually. I know I want you to do this as an interactivity so that you can join and ask the questions. If you have doubts, you may get clarified them with. Okay, so I need to go to the game, but before I go to the game, I thought there are lots of chess players, and you all are kind of playing chess. Maybe you're new to chess, you're going to start chess. So like I said, I wanted to introduce some uses of chess. What do you do chess for, right? And like I said, everywhere we get to see how to build our bodies, right? In the televisions, in the advertisements, everywhere, in the roads, in the cutouts, everywhere, you will see only way to build the bodies. But no one will actually tell you to make your mind sweat, right? But in chess is actually the gymnasium of the mind. So I will just show you a few uses of chess, and then I will straight away go to the lesson because I wanted to show you a little interesting game without taking a long time. Okay. Yes, you all can see a little list.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This shows up some uses of chess, right? Of course, I like the most the second one of this second point. Yes, Ravisha. If you have anything to ask, you may ask. Doesn't matter. What was I going to say? And okay, rather than everything, I prefer the second point here. Persevere in the quest of solutions. As Sri Lankans, we always have these questions. We have seen enough queues right so far. So if you want to live in Sri Lanka, of course, you need to be very much set in your psychological fitness, right? Other than any time, other than ever, this is going to be very much important for children to survive in the future, right? Chess players la monahari prashnak avut mekata duk wevi tavi inne egollan mekata විසඳුමක් හොයන්න උත්සාහ කරන කට්ටිය. ඒ වගේ හැම වෙලාවෙම හැම දෙයකින්ම හැම දත්තයකින්ම තොරතුරු රැස් කිරීමේ හැකියාව chess players වලට තියෙනවා. So they are very much intelligent and creative. They work according to the situation. That's how it works actually. And they are responsible. In chess games, they have to take decisions. They have to look at all the threats and everything, right? They have to be aware of the situation. So this makes you finally a responsible and a person with a skill of with a good decision making strength. Then අපි හැම වෙලාවෙම කියන එක තමයි chess players ලා කිව්වහම අන්තිමට මේගොල්ලන්ට හොඳ තීරණ ගැනීමේ හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ දේවල් තමයි අපි ගේම් එකකින් ප්‍රොමෝට් කරන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ. ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි. අද අපි ඩෙමොන්ස්ට්‍රේට් කරනවා. අද අපි චුට්ටක් කතා කරනවා. ඉස්සරහට අපි ඇකඩමි එකේ පාඩම් වලින් මොන වගේ දේවල්ද ඔයගලන්ට කියලා දෙන්න උත්සාහ කරන්නේ කියලා. Right? So we will actually go to the more technical side, and if you want, you can have a chessboard and set it as you get white to your side so that you can refer the game with me. That's the most important part of the session. අපි කතා කරගෙන යමු game එකේ වැදගත්ම දේවල් ටික මට ඕනේ game එක පෙන්නන ගමන් to discuss these technical matters, and during these technical matters I will ask few questions from children so that you can convey your ideas, you can tell your suggestions, you can tell what you see in the game, right? I guess you all if you want you can get a screenshot of this set of users. Not only, I mean, if I try to describe one by one, it will take lots of time. And the other thing, if you or any of your friends could not join the session, they can go to our YouTube channel. Later, we will be sending you some sort of links to go and watch these videos, and you can forward these stuff to your friends as well, so that they can have a idea of this lesson. Okay. I guess if you have set the board, I guess I can turn over the lesson right now. If you have a board around, you can set them. And if you don't have a board, it doesn't matter. You can have a look at the lesson. And later on, you can watch this in video, watch this in YouTube as well. The game is loaded right now. I guess you all can see my chessboard.
Yes, sir.
And if you want, you can set a board for you as well by your side. කාටද පුළුවන් chess board එකක් කමන්ට් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේක ඊට වැඩි පැහැදිලිව බලන්න පුළුවන්. More importantly, I want you all to watch this game, listen to these ideas properly, and discuss whenever it's needed. Right? Shall we start over the game? So, first of all, this game is being played by the Paul Morphy, the US chess champion in 1858. It's long before, but this game is accepted as most inspirational and most tactical game ever played. Before these computers, stockfish, these deep analyzing methods, anything were not there in that in that era. And the other thing, he was traveling to Germany to play this game against the Duke of Brunswick. He was playing this game against Karl Esau of Germany. So, however, we'll look into the game. Paul Morphy was playing white here. He was just 21 years of age. He was actually a young man when he was playing this. This game was played in an opera house. He was keen to listen to the music, so he wanted to play this game and finish it off as soon as possible. So that's why he was playing this it is accepted. I didn't actually watch that, but someone saying that that's why he was playing this in a very aggressive method. So he played the king's pawn first. If you have a chessboard, you can play this. Black responds with the king pawn. You also know this. And this is a very simple start. And here white brings out his knight to f3, like we all do. Knight to f3 and attack the pawn on e5. We know once this pawn is attacked, there are plenty of ways that you can defend this. Mostly that you play knight to c6. Sometimes some will play knight to f6, attacking the pawn on e4. But in this opening, the black has played pawn to d6, protecting the pawn on e5, which is called the Fido defense. This is what you call the Fido defense, blocking the dark square bishop for a while. It blocks the dark square bishop for a time. In opening KD, white e4, black e5, knight f3 to d6 e5 pawn එක defend කරගන්නේ. Black yage dark square bishop එක පොඩ්ඩක් block කරගන්නවා. And whenever you can see, if there's a chance that white could bring a pawn to the middle, he will always try to bring another pawn. So in this one also, white brings out his pawn to the middle, queen's pawn to d4. So we would rather recommend for black to capture the pawn, and then knight captures it, so that black can play knight to f6. But in this game, the opponent has played bishop to g4. Very aggressive response again, but it's not very much better for black, because it will keep the knight pin for a time, like you can see. This is what you call a pin. Okay. Some of you maybe know about these tactics, but anyway, I will do as you can see, if the knight moves, the queen is getting captured. So the knight here on f3 cannot be moved. So we call this is a pin, it's technique. In this position, the knight is pinned from the bishop on g4. So, well, there's nothing to be worried. So you can also play h3 whenever you can chase it bishop away. But this game, Paul Morphy takes the pawn on e5, challenging the pawn over here, d6. If the pawn cuts it, he gets an advantage. If the pawn cuts it, queen takes queen, like you see, queen takes queen. If king cut queen, what happens? The black loses his chance to castle. Black is going to lose the chance to castle. Yes.
Huh?
Yes, he cannot castle right now. And okay, so even if you capture it with the king, then the knight is going to capture the pawn on e5, double attacking the bishop g4 and attack the pawn on f7 again, threatening another double attack on king and rook. So it is still going to be better for who? Better for white or black?
White.
So in this position, black trades off the bishop for the knight after pawn takes pawn. No, it was the pawn. It was pawn takes pawn first, and then so trying to recognize right now. Bishop takes f3. Okay, in this position again, queen can easily capture this and develop one of the pages. This is what Paul Morphy has done. But also, you could do this capture with the pawn. Now, this hasn't done by the Paul Morphy, but this is actually a computer analysis. They make a Paul Morphy karla thiyena moeka නෙමෙයි. Paul Morphy karla thiyenne queen ගෙන් කෙලින්ම bishop එක capture කරන එක. Pawn ගෙන් pawn capture කරත් white මේ game එක තාමත් දිනන්න පුළුවන්. White can still win this even if I capture this pawn with the pawn, bishop with the pawn. Let's say pawn cut pawn right now, queen cut queen, king cut queen, f4. Just doing this right. This is actually a sideline. That's why I'm going a bit fast on this. Even if knight protects this right now, pawn takes pawn, attacks the knight, knight cut e4, bishop g2, still better for white again. Because this will now give you an extra attack. You can see this is an extra attack. What goes through the knight and hits the pawn and rook. Even if knight tries to save himself by moving over to c5, at the same time he would protect the pawn on b7. He won't be able to hold this for a long because white can play b4 and chase this knight away so that it can capture the pawn on b7. So white is anyway going to win this. Okay. So what white has done right here, he didn't capture it with the pawn. He has captured it with the queen. Done. And what you can tell about this black's capture, it's a very bad move for black because he's trading off his light square bishop in a very early stage of the game. It game money bishop trade off karna. Now you can see, here after white's light square bishop has no challenge at all, right? Challenge freely center advance. So okay, in this position, black captures the pawn on e5, opens up his queen. Right? Opens up his queen. Now there's a little question for you all. So what do you think as the best move for white right in this position?
Move the white bishop to c4.
Situm says move the white bishop to c4. Does everyone agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Of course, it's a fatal threat. Yes. It is going to be a fatal threat for black again. Very good move. Bishop to c4. It's a development of the bishop. It makes the chance to castle. At the same time, it sets a checkmate. And then anything, it is very much, yes, a checkmate threat. So black has several ways to stop this mate. Black has several other ways to stop this mate. So everyone gathered around this, game. In those days, the spectators can watch the games. So everyone gathered around the game were laughing. The May, who plays the game, but still, the black player played knight to f6, defending this, checkmate by interposing the queen's movement. You can see queen cannot jump over and take the pawn on f7. So there's another way that you can stop this. I mean, I'm still going to show this because it's an important way. The best way you could have defended like by playing queen to f6. This would have been more aggressive, right? Rather than playing knight to f6. But this is the correct move. Knight f6 is the correct move. Don't reverse the position. I will just play and show it to you what happens if the queen being played to f6. Let's say if black defends is with the queen f6. What can white do? They can easily move to b3, making a battery together with the bishop, getting double with the same diagonal, attacking to f7 square, at the same time attack the b7 square and the weak pawn, followed by you can attack the rook. So to defend this, black can just play b6. Once he plays b6, white is going to bring out his knight to c3, threatening that is going to come to d5 and attack the queen, attack on c7, threatening another double attack. Well, it's a dangerous position. So to stop this, black will have to play pawn to c6, knight's advancement. Again, in this position, white gets to bring another piece out. So it is a very much aggressive response again. So you can see, whenever a game like this, you can keep attacking your opponent, without giving him a time to take a break. Chance to opponent, and you continuously attacking, bringing all the possible pieces, every bit of possible piece into the attack. So bishop g5 is a good move, attacking the queen. If queen takes bishop right over here, bishop cut f7 is win, right? And then you're going to lose the knight, and then queen is threatening to come over to e6. Queen to pulang e6 square get up then. If the king makes a move, bishop takes knight on g8. Queen is threatening either it's going to come to a6 or to f7. In this position, if black remained without capturing the bishop, can bring rook to d1.
Sir,
the idea for
I
white,
think bishop move to f7 is the best one on now.
This move, if you play bishop to f7, the queen will capture usually. Right, in this position, it's a good suggestion, right? But the queen is going to capture it. But before that, that's what going to be. We bring the rook first of all. There's another option of castling, but rook d1 is the best. Let's see what happens if you castle.
The queen will take the bishop check.
Very good. Queen will take the bishop and it's a check. So white is not going to fulfill target. So that's why you just bring the rook to d1. Like you said, Harshana, you cannot still capture the bishop, because still the bishop f7 check is there. So now black can try few tricks. Now let's say maybe knight d7. If you try knight d7, now this move is correct. Bishop cut, and then queen cuts it back, and then what? Can someone tell me a move?
Rook to
Can
d8.
someone tell me? Very good. Rook to d8, which will distract the king from the queen protection. Yes, now you can get the queen for free. So that's another technique. Well, on the other hand, let's say, what if black played knight to e7? You can still go for this move. Bishop at f7, queen cuts it, queen cuts queen, king takes queen, rook takes on d7. Still an aggressive position for white. It's a better position. There are some entries, so I'm accepting some of them quickly. I think some of them are moving out of the meeting. Disable the waiting room for now for a while. Done. Let's see, it's still going to be a good position for white anyway. So I will reverse the position a little bit. We were at this position where this Duke of Brunswick, he has just played knight to f6. He didn't think of the this law, playing queen to f6. He just played knight to f6. So of course now we can see a very simple move. White will obviously going to come to b3 and attack the b7 pawn. The same time you attack the pawn on f7. So which pawn is more important for black? Which pawn is more important for black? f7, the green pawn, or the B7 threat? Which
B7.
one is more important?
The green pawn.
Green pawn, you say.
Red
Why do you
pawn.
say, Senuka, why do you say the green pawn is more important?
I said red pawn.
Say red pawn. So why do you say the red pawn is important?
Then we can cut easily his rook.
That's because. So what about the king? I think more important piece is the king. So which pawn, children? Which pawn is important?
F7.
The pawn on F7. Senuka, the pawn on F7 is more important because it's closer to the king. The king, which is the piece which is going to be checkmated, right? Sometimes even if you lose a rook, you can balance the game, but if you lose the, I mean, you got checkmated, you won't be able to survive, and the game is over. So of course, black has to defend the pawn on F7 by playing queen to E7, obviously. So can you straight away now? White has a move. If you want, I can take the pawn on B7 and thread the rook. If you just let's say if you try to remain, save the pawn on B6, B7 just by playing B6 or something, which is going to happen. You can just say bishop cut. I'm just showing this. It's a very easy tactic. Bishop to F7. Lazy, but maybe king moves. You can see that's checkmate. That's a checkmate in 2 moves. That's why you cannot protect the B7 other than protecting the F7 pawn. So you play queen to E7, protecting the pawn. Now, what if I straight away capture the pawn on B7 and thread the rook right now?
Queen B4 check.
Well, that is the solution for black. It's going to trade off the queen. Queen to B4, it's a double attack on king and queen. So white will be now forced to capture the queen. So it will be just a queen trade and white wins a pawn. So why did he wanted to win a pawn and settle for this? Let's settle with this, right? So he wanted to develop another piece, knight to C3, bringing out another one developed. So black gets a tempo. Black gets a chance to protect the pawn on B7. Yes. Okay. So that's the question. Someone's mic is not muted. Children, okay, if you're not to ask anything, you can keep your microphones muted, right? Let's see, in this question, you have 2 suggestions. You can castle, either you can bring the bishop out. But here we see again, right? White has more active pieces. Like you can see, white has 1, 2, 3 pieces active, and you can bring another one and set a pin. When only developed piece of black is under a pin right now. None of the black pieces are developed, right? All the black pieces are under, in block situations. They cannot be bring into the game, right? It cannot be brought out to the game. Knight cannot move to D7. Then the pawn will get captured. It cannot move to A6 either way. The bishop is going to cut that too. So it's the knight on F6 is stuck in a pin. Then black harim naraka position එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා white casting කරන්න නැතුව bishop G5 කියන මොකටද දානවා. So we know it's more important at every stage of the game. It's more important to activate as many as possible pieces. You need to remember. So it's black's move right now. So black anyway somehow he wants to simplify the game, but he's going for another bad move, which is B5. Why do we say it's a bad idea? It's a bad idea because you cannot attack once your king is not very much protected. Your king is still in the middle, right? When your king is still in the middle, you cannot go for a move like this. And if you see white could have just defended by playing bishop to D3 or something. But here, since white has more active pieces, he prefers for go for an sacrifice. So because he has more pieces. You can go with bishop cut or either, okay, in this one actually he has taken with the knight cut and then pawn takes b5 and now bishop takes b5 is a check. So what you can see right here, bishop b5 is a check. Black can only defend it by the knight even if you move the king. But if you move the king, rook d1 threat is there, bishop cut f6, and then the queen might come to d5 and attack your rook. So lots of threats. You can't move the king. You can block it by defending it with another knight. Now what do you have? Now black has 2 pins, and now you know this. We have seen these pins enough times, so you can see the knight on d7, the green one, is pinned with the bishop. It's an absolute pin. It's an illegal move if you move the knight. It opens and check to the king. On the other hand, this is not an absolute pin, it's a temporary pin. The knight on f6 could be moved, but if you move that, your queen is going to get captured. You cannot move that again. So it's a big problem for white. I mean, black right now, the knights are under 2 pins. Okay, it's white's move. White was an easy way to bring another piece, castling, bringing out his rook. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces are extremely active and threatening these knights over here, f6 and d7. So if black wants to go for a castling, what will happen if black castles?
He's like his king is in an open file and his rook is blocked.
Open position, the king is completely exposed. What can you do? What can you do here?
Bishop
There were 2 moves checkmate.
6.
Very good. Bishop a6. And then king comes to c7 maybe.
And queen to b7.
Checkmate. That is checkmate. So you cannot castle here. Black cannot castle. So only thing, you bring the rook to d8, protecting the knight. But you can see it's completely stuck. King is completely blocked around his own pieces. It's completely stuck. So in a position like this, what can you do? Now let's say if you go for rook d3, either if you just double the queen with bishop by playing bishop, queen to a3, are these force moves, attacking moves? If you play rook d3, something like that. No, for example, I would say if you play h3, it's not a forcing move. In this position, it won't be a forcing move. Forcing move, which means you make a capture, either you make a check to give a threat or something. So in this kind of position, it's very important when you're having your uphand in the game. Already you are in the attack. You are ahead of the opponent, right? In the tempos and all. මේ වෙලාවට අපි attack කරගෙන ඉන්න වෙලාවට force කරන move එකට යන්න ඕනේ. මොකද්ද force කරනවා කියන්නේ? එක්ක attack එකක් නැත්නම් check එකක් වගේ move එකක් කරනවා. එහෙම නැතුව අපි h3 වගේ move එකක් කරොත් ඒකෙන් force වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Let's say
Sir,
in this
he
position,
moves the bishop to d7.
wait a second. Screen. We play bishop to d7 and then the rook captures it. But I think the bishop is more important because it keeps the pin. And you can also bring the other rook to d1. So you can trade the rook. So knight cannot take it with its pin. Because yes, even though it seems like the knight on here, knight on d7 is protected by the knight on f6, it's not. It's really not protected. It just seems like that. It really does not protect the knight on d7. So rook cut rook, and only thing that the black rook has to capture it, and it still comes into another pin, still on the pin. So you can bring your rook to d1, easily attack the rook on d7. Once again, it's still pinned. So only attempt that black brings his queen to e6. Maybe he's trying to trade off. If the queen takes queen, pawn takes the queen back. If the bishop takes knight once again, pawn takes bishop, rook cut rook. Still, kind of simplifying, right? But still you can see white is completely dominating this game. He has very strong queens and he's winning anyway. Like he was going to win anyways. But once this queen is played to e6, white is a better move. Easy is a better move. You have a very strong bishop over here, and the rook and queen are active. And which is more important, you have a very strong rook on d1. Checkmate. Maybe you find a checkmate. Bishop cut d7, double attacking the king and queen. So let's say queen cannot of course capture it, and you lose the queen. Knight has to capture it. Once the knight captures, Now you can see the final move of this move, final knockout of this game. What is the move?
Queen b8 check. b8.
Queen to b8, check. Knight is, yeah, the only move is knight cut d8. It opens up rook's gate, opens up the rook's gate, so that rook can come to d8 and deliver checkmate. So it was a very small game, just 17 moves of it, right? But you can see there were lots of opening ideas, lots of tactics, lots of just strategic ideas in it.
Who won here, sir? That
White wins.
person in Germany.
Paul Murphy, the US chess master. He has finally managed to win this. He was very young when he was winning this. This game is accepted as the most inspirational, one of the famous game for its tactics. Very much tactical game. Right. So this was just a demonstration. I just wanted to clarify you what are the things we hope to do in our future lessons, right? And some of our future sessions. So I think we got some of your details. So we'll be able to send you back when we have these, these workshops and all. So all our activities will be sent to your WhatsApp numbers and to your emails, and you can pass the message to your friends. So once again, I would like to thank you all for joining. So hope you will be joining with us in the future events as well. Thank you very much and have a nice day.